institutions in and outside the country. So we have Dr. Samuel Awuku, who is here with us, who is the advisor of TETL to TETL on policy, leadership, institutional development, and communication, who led the development of the framework for the development of programs with quality assurance provided by Professor Anna Mohamens, Professor Odro, Professor Fletcher, and some experts in the United Kingdom. Thereafter, 7 universities, including UEW, were mandated to develop the programs at 3 levels. The level 1, which is postgraduate certificate in professional education leadership. Then level 2, postgraduate diploma in professional education leadership. Masters in professional education leadership. These are tailor-made programs. So the level postgraduate certificate focuses on developing leaders for basic schools. Then we have the postgraduate certificate for those who occupy middle leadership and leadership positions in second cycle institutions. And the level 3, which is masters for tertiary educational institutions. So how it is designed will require that if you want to be a head of department, you want to be a coordinator, you want to lead a higher educational institution, you must hold masters in professional education leadership. The structure of the program represents a paradigm shift or a fundamental change in approach from traditional one-size-fits-all approach to this, what we are saying now. Prof. Chair, ladies and gentlemen, I'm glad to announce or inform you that out of the 7 institutions mandated to develop the programs, UEW, our prestigious institution, is one of the 2 institutions to have their programs approved and accredited by GTEC in November. So we've been given the approval to train aspiring and practicing leaders for our educational institutions. Prof. Chair, our cherished and wonderful invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, we have gathered together here in this auditorium to officially launch the PELP, Professional Education Leadership Program, with the aim of first making it known to you all, key stakeholders in education provision. Secondly, to promote it among you stakeholders in education fraternity, and to solicit your unwavering support and cooperation for its effective implementation. And on this note, on behalf of the Governing Council of the University, the management of UEW, the leadership and entire staff of CEL, and everyone who worked assiduously to bring the program to this end, I welcome you all to this glamorous event. Thank you and enjoy your stay at the university. Thank you. Great.
Please, let's do better for the acting dean. I know the feeling is that well. The purpose seems to encapsulate virtually everything, so we are working away, but no. The program is about starting. Let's put our hands together for the dean for the purpose. Now we're going to have the introduction of the chairperson for today's event. And I invite upstage Mrs. Sheila Apiakubi to introduce the chairperson for the event.
Thank you very much. The Pro Vice Chancellor, the Director General of GTech, the Dean of CEL, the Principal of CODEL, Deans, Directors, Deputy Registrars present, all protocols observed. Good morning. I am honored to introduce an astute academician as the chairman for today's program. He is an alumnus of the University of Education, Winneba, a faculty member and a professor. He had a humbling academic foundation in Kumasi at the Amekom Abrotia LA School and the T.I. Amedia Secondary School, where he pursued and secondary education respectively. He furthered his education at the Akrokeri Teacher Training College and was assigned to Jaso Presbyterian Junior Secondary School after graduating. He took a teaching break and completed his bachelor's degree in physics and diploma in education at the then University College of Education, Winneba. He worked for the Department of Science Education at the time and as a teaching assistant. After a year, received sponsorship from UCU to pursue his Masters of Philosophy in Physics at the University of Cape Coast after serving for a year. Ladies and gentlemen, our chairman was initially hired as a research fellow by UCU and was later employed as a lecturer by the Department of Science Education. He thereafter received a grant from the Netherlands University Foundation for International Cooperation, NUFIC, to complete his Doctor of Philosophy in Physics Education at Utrecht University in the Netherlands. From 2005 to 2008, he served as the project coordinator for NUFIC practical project at the university. He has served as the acting dean of the Faculty of Science Education, acting vice dean, head of Department Physics Education, acting head of the Department Early Childhood Education, and a coordinator of graduate program in science education. In 2016, he emerged as the best lecturer at the University of Education, Winneba. In his fields of expertise, he has worked on various research projects, including outdoor performance studies on silicon photovoltaic models, the effect of piezo-phototropic on higher performance multi-junction solar cells, interactive mechanics teaching in Ghanaian universities, students' misunderstandings of physics, the use of MBL, simulations and animations in the teaching of graphs, and students' conceptual understanding of Newton's laws of motion. His other areas of interest include ways to enhance science instruction and learning for students and pupils, interactive engagement approaches, ICT integration in the teaching of electricity and magnetism, inquiry-based mechanics instruction, and students' comprehension of the concepts of heat and temperature. Prof has co-authored integrated science books for junior high schools 1, 2, and 3. He was adopted by the government of Ghana to publish these books for our public schools. He was also among the authors who wrote the new syllabus and course manuals for the science program sponsored by Transforming Teaching Education and Learning, TTEL, at the Colleges of Education. He has been involved in the teaching and training of teachers in physics education at the secondary and tertiary levels in Ghana. He was one of 4 convocation representatives on the UEW Governing Council and the acting dean of the School of Graduate Studies. He is married and blessed with 2 children. Ladies and gentlemen, I introduce to you the acting chairman, the second gentleman of the University of Education, Winneba, the pro-vice chancellor. Please, let's welcome with a clap, Professor Victor Enchi.
Thanks very much, Sheila. You know me, Papa. Well, the DG, that is the Director General of Ghana Tertiary Education Commission, Professor Ahmed Jinapo Abdullahi. I think we all know him. He's one of us Even though he's not with us, he's always with us. That's why he has come for this program. The representative of the Director General of Ghana Education Service, GES, Madam Jessie Najaba. The Principal Technical Advisor from the Transforming Teacher Education and Learning, TTEL, Dr. Sam Ewuku. The Principal, Kodel, Professor Frimpong K. Duku. Members of management team, professors of UEW present, members of convocation, distinguished invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Yeah. As the chairman for this August occasion, it gives me great pleasure to welcome you to the official launch of the Professional Education Leadership Program. This event is a collective effort by the university and its stakeholders to promote the mission of our noble university through training competent professional teachers for all levels of education, as well as conducting research, disseminating knowledge, and contributing to educational policy and development. Over the years, UW observed the need to create a diverse pool of 21st century leaders who are capable of taking Ghana's educational institutions forward and make Ghana a learning nation by 2030. Out of this concern was born the Professional Education Leadership Program, known as PELP. The goal of PELP is to equip graduates with skills and competencies required to be effective and efficient in leadership positions, making it a unique program which relies on competency-based curriculum model. It is structured in such a way that it has 3 levels of training to cater for all stages of educational leadership, ranging from new leaders, leaders in waiting, to existing educational leaders. The programs are: 1, postgraduate certificate in professional education leadership, which focuses on basic education system. That means from KG to GHS. 2, postgraduate diploma in professional education leadership, which focuses on secondary education leadership. And 3, masters in professional education leadership, which focuses on tertiary education leadership. This program is designed to create lasting impact on the end users. Therefore, the delivery is hinged on hands-on learning and assessment, which will utilize several formative techniques. It will leverage on the knowledge and skills for both academic professionals as well as experienced, it could be active or retired, educational leaders to provide a hands-on practical lesson on leadership in the Ghanaian educational institutions. Our vision for holders of PEP certification is that they will have competitive advantage over all others to occupy leadership roles in the Ghanaian educational institution. I'm sure you will agree with me that with effective cooperation and perseverance, UW, as per our mandate, will continuously prepare leaders for transformative education in Ghana and beyond. Thank you for coming.
Please, let's do better for the Vice Chancellor of the University of Education, Manila, for accepting the chair and setting the plans for us. I'm sure we're all ready to listen to the very first delivery. And I have another task of introducing to you this personality who will be talking to us. My first guest speaker for today's event is the Principal Technical Advisor for Leadership, Institutional Development, and Secondary Education at the Transforming Teacher Education and Learning, that's TTEL. He worked as an education and development consultant supporting the TTEL program as the Principal Technical Advisor for Policy Leadership, Institutional Development Work Stream. He holds a teacher's certificate in mathematics teaching with distinction. He has a BA in social science with honors in economics and sociology from the University of Cape Coast, Ghana. He holds MA in inclusive education from the University of Reading, UK. He has an MBA from Trinity College, Indiana University, USA. He holds an MA in educational program with mathematics focus from London South Bank University. That is not all. He has an LLM from the University of Law, UK. He just got awarded another award in public leadership and policy analysis. Ladies and gentlemen, this very personality holds a PhD in educational technology and development policy from the UCL Institute of Education, UK. Let me share with you a few of his areas of expertise. He is an educational technology and development policies. He has an expertise in organizational development, quality assurance in education, inclusive education, curriculum development, mathematics education, and leadership and governance of non-governmental organizations and public engagement. His work at TTEL brought about a huge transformation in how Ghanaian colleges of education are now led and governed. Through a comprehensive strategy and cutting-edge college improvement, coaching, and leadership professional development, colleges of education in Ghana can now boast of a robust institutional strengthening system. My guests. Also, this personality has assisted regulatory bodies such as the National Accreditation Board, National Council for Tertiary Education, now Ghana Tertiary Education Commission, that's GTEC, the National Teaching Council, National Inspectorate Board, and the National Council for Curriculum and Assessment have all benefited from his technical support through TTEL. During the COVID-19 school closures, this unique person led the virtual learning task force set up by GTEC and TTEL to provide emergency remote teaching and learning in all the 46 colleges of education in Ghana. This initiative enabled over 85% of student teachers to receive remote teaching during the second semester of the 2019-2020 school year. He has over 30 years of work experience in the education and development sector across sub-Saharan Africa, the United Kingdom, and Poland. Please join me welcome to the stage the President and CEO of Africa Foundation for Leadership and Institutional Development, Dr. Samuel Awuku from Agbozume. He is our very first special guest speaker. Papa, your audience.
Good morning, colleagues and friends. You know, when you're invited to speak and they start searching information on you on internet, there are a lot of information they will get. So Collins has done a good job. We have the same name, but I don't know whether we are from the same father. Maybe when I go home, I will check and see where he's got the Awuku from. But he clearly say, I'm from Agbozume. I don't know where he's coming from. So, and I support Agbozume Football Club, the best football team in the world. I'm also happy this morning to see my primary school mate, who is sitting here, and I'm so glad to see him. That's Professor Albert Wonyo. We were in the same class from class 1 up to experimental, then to secondary school. We only part ways when we went to different colleges of education. So, Albert, nice to see you. And I've seen a lot of familiar faces as well, which gives me confidence that even though I'm nervous, I know my friends are here to support me, including Apao, Jones Apao, and DG, seen Justine as well from DS. So I have a lot of friends here, people I know, Professor Kusi. So my, right? Nervousness is actually coming down. I'm nervous because I can't remember the last time I stood in front of academics to speak. When you speak with academics, they take pen and paper, marking you. Please don't mark me. I led the teaching profession as a lecturer at the University of Reading 2015, and since then I've not done any. So I don't know, yeah. So if I'm missing my way, just forgive me that now I'm into purely development and project work, so I will not be able to articulate to your expectation. So forgive me. Prof Chair, keynote speaker, Professor Ahmed Jinapo Abdullahi, also doubling as the DG for Ghana Tertiary Education Commission, DG GES representative, Justin Jabba. Then we have the Dean, who are just eloquently, told us the purpose of our gathering, Professor Kusi, who is actually our host. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, media, and as we always say, all protocols observed, but I cannot observe all protocols without mentioning my good friend, the president of Prinkoff, and the principal of Accra College of Education. I'll call him the way I call him, Sammy. nice to see him. I have to single him out because the genesis of what we are talking about today actually started from colleges of education. So if I do not recognize him, I will be doing disservice to the support that they gave to the development of this process up to this point where we are to launch this special program that you're going to be running. I must say that it's a great honor for me to be invited for this launch, and I accepted it, and that's why I'm here. If I had not accepted it, I would not be here. So I'm really glad to be invited. Now, I also look carefully as to at the theme that we are looking at today. You say preparing leaders for transformative education, the role of universities in Ghana. When I read the theme, I said, you are very lucky that you didn't use the word producing leaders. Otherwise, my topic will be, my speech or talk will be on that, why we shouldn't use the word producing. But you use the right one that I'm so attuned to, preparing or developing, which is really, really important. This is well crafted, but there is a keynote speaker, and then there's guest speaker. We then have guest speakers. So I will leave the exposition of the theme to the keynote speaker, right? I'm sure you agree with me. I know in academic environment, what you do is to get different perspective on the same topic, but I will try my best. What I think I should do basically is to walk you through the journey till we got this point, and to answer the question, the role of the universities, I will say that in 5 minutes. I can even say it now, but I will not say it, right? So the journey to this point where we're talking of professional educational leadership, I would say it started from 2014. That's where the whole idea started from, as part of a package that was then dubbed Transforming Teacher Education and Learning. 2014, the government of Ghana secured a grant from the UK government to transform colleges of education so that they can actually act and carry the activities as tertiary education institutions. So you hear the word TETL, that was the beginning of TETL. You will also agree with me that if we want to transform colleges of education, or indeed any educational institution, it is imperative that management, administration, and most importantly, leadership are effectively strengthened to ensure that changes are embedded in everyday practice. Basically, changes need to become cultures within the school or the educational institution. And for this reason, educational leadership has been identified or was identified by the Ministry of Education as one of the key skill sets required to improve learning outcomes at all levels of the educational system. As a result, I was invited, I remember vividly, it was in May 2015. I've just had a meeting with President Kagame, trying to convince him to accept us to set up a center in his country focused on mathematical sciences. As soon as I came out of the his office in the car going to the hotel, I had a call. And the person introduced himself, calling from Ghana, and this project is going on, and they have looked at your profile, you are a Ghanaian, all that you are doing elsewhere, we want you to come and do a similar thing. That was May 2015, it's the 14th of May, I think so. I have to, when I got back to the UK, I then had to speak to my family. At the time too, I was doing teaching at the university, so I have to think carefully, but it's a call to come to home. And what actually motivated me was the fact that when I was in Rwanda, the young man told me, who was their minister for ICT, told me that he was called by the president. He just came out of the lab and he had a call and he has to respond. In Rwanda, when you're called for duty, you do not say no. Now, he was in the lab on a Thursday in jeans and t-shirt. Monday, he was in a cabinet meeting in suit and tie. That was ringing in my head. So when I also received the call, I said, okay, if Rwandans are doing it, then I can also do it. I dropped everything and I came to Ghana 15th of June 2015 to lead the leadership components of the TETL project. It was very clear in my mind that for us to do this, it's not going to be just running workshops for school, college leaders, but we want to have a long-term vision, a vision that will enable us to one day institutionalize leadership capacity development in our beloved country, Ghana. As Professor Kusi said, where I was actually a product of NPQH program in the UK. So I understand very well that to be able to lead schools and education institutions effectively, it's not only enough to just have a qualification, but a practical experience, and on-the-job training will be the way to go. So that's what we have in our mind, and then pursue that rigorously. And then in 2017, there was a new administration, and the then minister bought into the vision wholeheartedly and said, this must happen. It's a good thing, and it must happen. He kept the vision alive. Now, transforming teacher education and learning in partnership with the then National Council for Education, we deliver a leadership program to the colleges. Now, the initial concept for which they got a grant was to train only the principal of the college. But when I came in, I said, no, how can you train only the principal? If the principal retires, what happened? With the idea to institutionalize something, we need to go beyond just the principals. So we included the vice principals, the college secretaries, the finance officers, the librarians, and the auditors. Those of you who are familiar with the college system, these are the senior leadership team. And then we also added some middle leaders, like the quality assurance and heads of departments, to participate in the program. So for each workshop, we will have about 6 people from each college of education. The program was structured that combined organizational development strategies and quality assurance approaches. And this is delivered through a regular series of activity-based workshops. Now, those of you who are very familiar with leadership capacity development in most places, what they do is just to focus on the organizational development approaches or organizational behavior approaches. What we did as a unique thing is to combine that with quality assurance. For that matter, at the end of every workshop, when the colleges go back, they go with a set of activities that they need to implement. We collaborated with IEPA, Institute of Educational Planning and Administration, University of Cape Coast, and they gave us a team of people who were calling college improvement advisors. They will follow up with the principals and their teams to support them to implement what we have agreed at the workshop. So it's not just workshopping, we actually make sure that whatever is learned is practiced. And that was an innovation that we brought into the training, and it really helped to bring the changes that we wanted. We actually, as a part of the process, developed a considerable volume of materials to support the program. Now, you know, in the project, at the end of everything, at the beginning you do a baseline, at the end you have to do end line to assess, among other things, if the desired behavior that you plan to achieve at the beginning has been achieved. So we had an annual external evaluation of the program, and it shows that leadership training has had a positive impact on the knowledge and behavior of College of Education principals. So in June 2018 and 2020, 83% and about 95% of college, that's respectively. 2018, it was 83%, and then 2020, it was 95% of principals were able to demonstrate a defined set of leadership and management skills. This is up from the baseline of 34% in June 2015. Now, the set of leadership behavior we're talking about here, we're talking of setting a vision, mission, and core values, leading a strategic development planning, institutionalizing policies, quality assurance systems, and among others. Now, this achievement reinforced the need to institutionalize the training of education leaders. So there's a reason why, as Prof. Kusi mentioned earlier, NTC and NAB, now GTech, with a strong backing from the then certain minister, agreed that there's a need for us to pursue the institutionalization of the program. So the vision started, but somebody needs to keep it alive. Now, this program, the terms of reference given were very clear. And it says that we have to expand the scope of the training so that it benefits prospective as well as current leaders at all levels. Bear in mind that the focus was college of education level, but I say at all levels. And when we ask what do you mean by at all levels, it's from KG down to tertiary institution, university level. As Professor Kusi mentioned again, talking of deans and heads of department. And it also says that we should adapt the training methods and materials in a blended learning approach, which combines face-to-face instruction with on-the-job learning. And then we have to collect all existing training materials and package into an apprenticeship-style course for educational leaders. And then finally, work with interested universities to develop this into an accredited course, potentially linking with wider Ministry of Education efforts to develop educational leaders. So those are the terms of reference given to us, and we came together, actually make sure we discharge on this responsibility. You know, it's been a very long journey. It took almost 10 years, right? But we are here finally, right? So a framework was developed. And 7 universities came together, as Prof mentioned. 7 universities came together. And then this morning, Prof was telling me back and forth. I said, I'm not responsible for the back and forth. When Professor Jinapo comes, you tell him the back and forth, because GTech was responsible for the accreditation. Our job was to develop a framework and a back and forth, because I'm saying this because people will think, all right, because this is government initiated, any university that submit program, they just give them accreditation. But I can tell you, GTech did very serious work, as they always do. You know, the standard of accreditation that GTech adopts is first class. And that's why when we have our degrees from this country to any country, they see our, you know, most of you have experienced that. So GTech took them very rigorous process, and that's why Professor Christie was saying back and forth. And it was back and forth. It took more than a year, right, for them to get for you to get your accreditation. So you must be very proud of yourself that you'll be subjected to serious scrutiny and you've stand the test of the time. So congratulations for receiving this award. Now, you are launching it today. So you are asking the question, what is the role? And I'm happy you're not asking what if UEW in running this program or ensuring that educational leaders are fully prepared. But you are actually asking the role of universities in Ghana. It means you realize the enormity of the work to make that happen. So, Chair, before I come to that, I want to also say the leadership in creating enabling environment at the school level. We know that if that happens, then we'll have a transformational teaching and learning, hence improvement in learning outcomes. You cannot be an educational leader and where your core business is impact lives and make sure that young people are fully prepared for, at the pre-tertiary level, fully prepared for further studies, world of work, and adult life. So if that's the case, the leadership to this work of educational leader does not happen through a concerted effort and intentionality to ensure that the right systems are institutionalized through effect. So the kind of leader we're talking about here is expected